Hello everyone, welcome back to this new project. In this episode I'm going to take care, or at least to attempt to take care of this Harman Kardon 330C, which is a tuner amplifier. It's a wretch, it was very cheap, and there is a huge indentation here. It's missing one push button cover, but this is not the worst thing. It's missing the top lid, but the worst thing is the amount of damage that has received on the bird, which is cracked and it's in rough shape. It's missing all the fuses, and who knows, whatever is also damaged. So for sure the amount of work that we require probably doesn't worth the investment that it will requires. But you know, we are here to try to save. So that is exactly what I want to do. Try to save. Remove the bird from the unit. See if mechanically I can repair the tuning capacitor. See if it's possible to repair the PCB. It's quite a challenge, but it will be also interesting to see if we can save this entry level, actually not really cheap, but entry level for back in those days. It's complete from the point of view of rear antenna, terminal, so not too bad from that point of view. But first of all, let's remove the bottom cover and see if we can save it in some way. Well, as I said, I'm not sure that we'll be able to save it. I'm finding more damages here. Power cord is cut away. I remain to remove one screw from the bottom cover. So let's see what we have to face with. Wow, the amount of damage is quite heavy. It's quite heavy. Yeah. Lot of broken traces. It's quite a huge damage. But all in all, it's I think we can try to save it. Not sure that we will achieve the result, but at least we can try. All the other parts seems without any crack. We have a lot of nasty residues over there, which I believe is flux residues, or perhaps something that has spilled in. This is the power switch. Okay, so let's get started the removal of the tuner bird. Going along the removal, I just wanna be sure that I'm going to record all the things that I'm going to remove. There are a lot of things to be removed. We have this wire that I wanna unsolder. I need to unsolder. Probably later on I will also need to unsolder this one. And we have some other wires on the other side to be unsoldered. But however, I can proceed and remove those clamps for the wirings and take trace where they are mounted on. The removal of the screws and the wirings has exposed more damage. The pads of the ground of this shielded wire are completely gone. The PCB is starting to move, so I need to flip it over on the other side and free it up. Well, on this side we have this connector and these 4 wires that I'm going to unsolder. Well, everything is detached, and I will need 2 hands to remove the bird from the unit, so I'll be back as soon as I have removed it. Okay, this is the bird out of the receiver, and we can evaluate more closely the extent of damages, which are quite high. So the extent of damages has also involved a transistor here, which still is intact, but I will need for sure to remove it. I also have seen a capacitor over there, which is completely destroyed. So it seems that something has dropped onto the tuning condenser and has damaged badly everything, and perhaps also stored in a very wrong way. Hopefully I will be able to save those transistors that they might be also noisy and must be replaced the same, but I will try to save as much as possible. So at this point I will start the cleaning and the repair of the tracks and see if we can have some success. I have removed the transistor, which is testing good, so let's go ahead. I've been able to remove the tuning capacitor, which is stiff in rotation but still operative, so that is good from this point of view. The breakage is right here, and this is the anti-backlash system. I will need to check if the gear that should rotate here is usable. I saw that is badly damaged. However, the PCB does not receive any additional damages for the tuning capacitor removal, so I will go ahead and wash the bird on both sides and straighten, repair all the required track and pads and see how it will become. I have removed the shaft from the tuning pulley here, and unfortunately I have discovered that is completely missing the gear, and this is the broken parts that goes here. So I'm afraid that I will need to machine something that will be suitable for this purpose, a new gear. I will check on the service manual if there is any exploded view, at least the number of teeth that this gear should have, so the track will be correct. And yeah, so but this will be a later problem. We are facing this cracked PCB first. So while I'm waiting that the epoxy that I have used to bond together all the broken parts is drying out, I've started to work on the power supply. I've already removed the 60-100 microfarad capacitor, one of the two, and it's perfectly fine. But the board is very dirty on the other side, so I'm considering to remove all the wirings and remove the boards as I did with this. I washed it on the entire board under water with soapy water and a brush, and it came up pretty fine. Yeah, I'm really considering that might be a good idea, since it is pretty much corroded and contaminated by dirty, and perhaps I will do the same also with that. Not sure yet. Let's see. Well, in order to take care of this board, I have removed all the wirings. I took a lot of pictures, so I will be able to wash it and take care of all the components. Meanwhile, the gluing is finished. It's a bit bowed. The tuning capacitor is removed. I'm working on it and I need to machine a new gear. However, and I also need to fix all the tracks, but at least now it's solid, so I can work on it in a safety way, and it's quite strong, so should be good enough. Testing the capacitor, none of those are leaky, so very impressive. It's something that is unexpected, since it's very old, and it's a long time that nobody has powered it up. So I was expecting worst scenario. Well, the cleaning and the check on the board has given good results. There are some stainings onto the PCB, but nothing that will affect the function. It's came up pretty acceptable. So I will install new fuses later on, but for the moment I will install back onto the radio. Meanwhile, I have replaced the power cord that was cut, just one that I have saved from an old instrument, and I have done now before the install back the bird, since I have the room enough to do the job. So yeah, let's put back the bird. Okay, the bird itself is in its place. Now I want to address this power section, which is quite filthy, and I want to clean as best as I can the bird. And meanwhile, I have also removed one of these push buttons cap because I need to machine a new one. I gave a bit of cleaning onto the all the potentiometer here, and I also have checked the lamps. There is one burnt lamp. I just have that one. There is one burnt lamp. Not sure if the stereo lamp is still fine. I didn't check it. I was trying to remove the scale, but it's glued quite strongly, and I'm really afraid to break, and that will be very it's a big mama. So just a bit of cleaning onto the transformer, Now I want to address this section, that section in terms of cleaning, and then I will start to repair the traces and the tracks onto the FM section or tuner section. And then we will see how has been done the job onto the tuning capacitor. Well, to remove the final stage with the relevant heatsink, I have loosened the rear panel. Since this lip of the heatsink stay right behind this flap, and it is not possible to remove it without folding this rear panel backwards in order to give the necessary room. Not sure if I will be able to remove with just one hand. I want to avoid the removal of all the wirings over there, since there are too many and I don't want to damage the wires themselves. So let me do it with two hands. And yes, with two hands absolutely easier. So as you can see, there is a bit of thermal paste over there, which has been loosened and made a bit wet by the WD-40 that I sprayed onto the screws. But now I can address a bit this oxidation. It will not be pretty for sure, but at least I can stabilize the oxidation process and clean the board. Well, with the board completely out of the receiver, I can now try to literally wash and soak and dry out of the cabinet, maybe in some small jar or some pan that can be used to do that. Okay, I have reassembled the board. I have recapped this board as just to be on the safely side. I don't want to run the risk that some of those capacitors will get leaky and damage the final stage, as we have this biasing circuit that can get affected by a leaking capacitor. Moreover, we have a DC blocking capacitor over there, and my light always become crazy. So just finished the work of cleaning of the finals. These are the capacitors that I have replaced. None of those were leaky, so they could just be left alone, and probably the amplifier would have worked perfectly. However, so this is the heatsink, nice and clean. Time to reassembly. Okay, everything is back in its place, and a new, fresh and nice layer of thermal paste is now down there on both transistors and heatsink. All of those are pretty matching the HFE, so pretty nice. So I think now we can go ahead in the tuner bird, as the bonding process should be quite dry out, and hopefully I can finish my job there. As I'm now going to repair the tuning section, the tuning condenser was the most damaged part, and if you recall, there was a broken pieces here, and there was a gear missing over there. So I've tried to weld the broken parts, and as I touch it with the thick welding machine, it completely melted down. So I ended up with the machining of these square parts and rounded. I made a calculation that the tuning knob, the rotating the tuning knobs, makes this tuning pulley rotate in a total of 1.5 turn. So this device here, it's actually a stopping device which allowed to rotate 1.5 turn this shaft, while this is rotating half turn. It ended up that the gear is 16 tooth, and with 1.5 turn it is stopped in the position. And I have this small gap here that should prevent the rotating part of the condenser to touch the metal shell of the condenser itself. And I have removed this capacitor from the, actually it is the complete circuit, and I have removed it from the shell, from its shell. This is the shell, and this is the cover that were very rusty and have soaked in rusty remover as well as this. So it came up pretty fine. Actually, this is the front end of the FM, and I'm not sure if also AM tuner. So let's reassemble and finish the PCB repair and see if we can apply some power to the receiver. I have removed the one of the push button cover because there was missing one, and I have machined a new one, and that is drop it onto the ground. So this is also finished. The tuning capacitor is back in its place and it's working as it should. It's a bit noisy, the cord is a bit noisy, the pulley are a bit dry out, so I need to lubricate those. But well, it's back at least mechanically operative. So let's finish the repair of the PCB and see if we can have some live tuner. I think the board is fixed and I've cured all the broken traces. Clearly it's not a clean job. There are a lot of damages here, and the crack is over there. I have resoldered all the components, including the transistor that were exactly in the middle of the crack. All of the other wirings is back in its place. Cleaned. Here I have to place a solid wire because there was completely missing this track. So at this point I will flip it over and try to power it up. Well, the moment of truth is finally arrived. I have reattached all the wirings. I did test the power supply as a standalone unit and everything was fine. So I'm currently cranking up a bit the voltage. I'm at 90 volts, and as you can see here we have a bit of lighting on this bulb. I'm just wanna go slightly, But by the way, look at that. I have a problem here that I need to switch off. Look at this. This is broken, must be replaced. I have replaced the capacitor. The PCB, it has been stamped as 100 microfarad, but actually it is 47. Yeah, 10 volt. So I have replaced it with the same value, and we are back on the same level. So we still have a bit of light here, and I've noted that some of the bulbs are lighting up, some are just off. I believe they are blown out. So let's crank it up a bit more. Hopefully we will not have some magic smoke. Nothing so far. I am in FM at the moment. No life signs. 160 volt AC. So we are still low in voltage, but nothing of scaring is happening. So I will continue with this rise up. No speakers are connected. I just want to see if the meter moves. Well, actually, if I would have attached a piece of wire in the FM antenna, it would have helped. Not sure where it would be the best point. Oh, look at that. It's moving. Oh, that seems that it's trying to receive. I think it's better that I check the output, see if we can apply some speakers safely and our balance is fine. So let's try this. Let's see, this is left channel, nothing. Right channel. That might be, we have some signal here. Okay, let's try onto the resistors. Balance looks fine to me. So let me attach some speaker. Okay, I've attached speakers, but it seems that we are not having any audio. But by the way, look at the meter. It seems that it's receiving. That would be really a lucky end, as the damage, the extent of damage of the board was really high. So let's see why we do not have any audio. Well, checking out to the schematic and to the receiver, I'm having two problems with signal tracer. I've been able to have signals of AM receiver onto the input of the power amplifier. By the way, the power amplifier is not working at all. But what I have found is that there is no amplification on the differential stage here, and here we should have a connection between this and this. This is the line that goes there on LP 414 and 413, and that's the reason why I have not connected back on its place. So let's do that and see if we can have some live sign from the power stage. I have attached the wire. By the way, I'm still not hearing. Okay, I might need to enable the speakers. I'm hearing some. Okay, I think yes. This is AM. Okay, so I'm having a problem with the FM IC. I'm not sure if it's the muting circuit or if it is the AC IC itself. But it's working. Yeah, that is unbelievable. Look at that. It's back working. Not all the functions. We missed the FM, and probably phono stage need a bit of attention, but it's working. It's unbelievable. And it's quite sensitive. And I did not touch no one control over there. That's the balance. One channel, other channel. Okay, let's troubleshoot the FM. Okay, I have controlled all the supplies over there, and I'm having signal on this stage here, but I have no output from the IC, and I'm not having any control to the stereo lamp, which is right here. So I'm afraid that the IC is faulty, and I have ordered one, and it should be right the okay, BA13110F, the right replacement. So let's replace it. Okay, at this point I have reassembled the front panel with the remachined push button. So let's see. I have a burnt out lamp. By the way, I'm waiting for replacements. So this is AM. So let's try FM. And it works. Okay, let's see if stereo does not work. Not sure if the lamp is faulty or the multiplexer is not doing. Oh, you know what? I have no antenna, so it's quite sensitive. Let's see. Okay. FM still doesn't work. But FM is back operative, and clearly the IC was the fault. This is the final result of the bird cleaning, and I'm quite happy. And unbelievably, the tuning capacitor is pretty well working. And at this point I will perform the alignment and see if I can improve the multiplexer. Don't think this will do the trick. Let's see. That is a very strong station, but no stereo indication. So let's try to repair it. Okay, I have performed the stereo light alignment, and look at that, fully working. Really happy about that. This receiver was really in the hell, and I now just need to test the phono stage, but I've already have applied some signals and it's doing pretty fine. But I want to check with the real record to check it that is fine. But for the moment, I'm quite happy. So, and it sounds pretty strong and with a good fidelity, so quite happy. Well, I've received the lamps, so I can replace them. Well, I got the lamp replaced, but you wouldn't believe what I have found. I have found a seller that has the original cover. It is in need of cleaning, but he also has the original screw. So very lucky project. As you can see, there is a very special texture onto the surface. So I will, it is in need of cleaning, but it's almost in good condition. So let's clean it up and close the tuner. And finally, everything assembled. I also have the original label over there. It's not perfect. There is a lot of scarves and very heavy signs of usage, but it's working. It's working, and it's also working very fine. I'm pretty happy with the result. So another device is saved, and it's also beautiful with this style with the green color scale. So I think it's enough for this savage. So I'll be back soon with another interesting device to bring it back to life. Thanks for watching.